In this video, I'm going to review the last question of our SQL assignment 2. Find the average price of a product supplied by all the following suppliers and whose second letter of their contact name is A or H. And we're going to use both subquery and inner join to answer the question. So as always, think about the data we need from 3 levels. What tables we need, what data fields we need, what are the values we need to filter our data. So first we say find the average price. That means we need the price data field from the products table, right? Supplied, which we say we need a supplier information by foreign supplier. What is foreign supplier? Because we're here in United States, so we say any supplier with a country which is not United States, we say it's a foreign supplier. And whose second letter of their contact name, basically the supplier's contact name, we need this data field is either A or H. So A or H is the data value we need to compare the second letter of their contact name. So basically we already have the rough idea. We need a table from the products, table from the suppliers. That's basically, I think, that's 2 tables we need, right? And then what are data fields? We need the price data fields. We need the supplier's country information, right? And then we need the supplier's contact name information. So for the value, A and H is a value to limit the contact name, and not United States or USA is used to limit the supplier's country. Basically, we need the foreign suppliers only. So let's do it together. First, let's use the inner join method. So we need to inner join the product table A inner join with supplier table, right? B on A the supplier ID equal to B the supplier ID. Test join first. See, we got some table here, product here, product here. So sounds good right now. So as always, these are just a single table. Now they have all data fields in this table here. Of course, we just give it back like this. So then we're going to limit our data, right? We first want to make sure these are products come from the foreign supplier. So where the country, which is the supplier's country, is not equal to USA, right? So basically we know the country information here. USA means the local supplier, and these are foreign supplier, right? So we put this one, and we're going to also limit, make sure the supplier's contact name, the second letter. Okay, so we say the contact name of supplier like this pattern. We don't care about what its first letter is, but we have to make sure there is a first letter here, and second letter is A, and then we don't care what's after the second letter, right? So we use a percentage sign. Same thing, we are going to say all contact name can be like this pattern. Similarly, we do not care about first letters, but we do care about second letter. It must be H, and we don't care what's after the H anymore. So we have to do something like this. So basically, this query we're going to give us all the products information, and also supplied by foreign supplier, and the supplier's contact name, second letter of contact name is A or H. So we can click this query statement. You can see we get 32. But the problem is that why I find that USA is still here. Sounds like we already limited the country is not equal to United States, USA. What's the problem is that? That's basically something we talk about in classroom, and I draw some chart in the whiteboard. So the so-called logic operator. So if we have the OR logic operator, which is two conditions are applied to the same data fields contact name, we must use a bracket to put them together, to evaluate them together. So that's a very important concept. So when we use the logic operator or, we have to be very careful, because the whole statement we're going to evaluate as true if any of these condition is true, right? So we have to make sure these two conditions, they are applied to the same data fields, so you have to apply to together. So that's basically, if we click OK, now you will say from this number 32 we're going to reduce it to 25, and all the USA supplier has been removed. So right now the next step is simply just to calculate the average price. So give it a name, average price. So that basically gives us information like this, 27.9. So that basically is the answer. So we just simply copy this query statement back to our worksheet, and then copy the results as well. And of course, remove the format as always, because we do not need that format, right? So that's basically an inner join method. So right now, let's talk about the subquery method. Subquery method is the same thing. So we ask us again, what is the final output for this question? We want the average price from the products. So basically we need the average price of the product, right? So that's the final information we want to output. So basically we want to select average price from the products table, but we do not want to show all the the average price for all the products, right? So we have to limit where's the supplier ID, which we only want to the average price for those supplier which are foreign, and their contact name has some limitation, right? So of course we give it a name as average price from the product where supplier's ID in what? In select, which we follow the same formula. X, we are going to fill out this missing part. What is X? X should be select supplier ID from the supplier tables, where what? Where the country information, we're going to put some limitation, where country information is not equal to USA, and their supplier's contact name, like, should be this way, because we want to make sure a second letter of the contact name is A, or second letter of their contact name is H, like this. So this query statement will give us a list of supplier IDs which meet this condition. So we can test it, copy it and paste here, and we can run the query. So basically there are 11 supplier ID meet these conditions. Okay, they are foreign supplier and their contact name, second letter of contact name is either A or H. So we can just copy this one, this subquery, and replace this X. Of course, we're going to say something, maybe give it more like this. So we're going to have something like this. We got 25. Then we say, I remember we got 27 something, right? We get 27 something. What different? So maybe some of you already noticed that we forget to use a bracket to apply the two conditions to a same data fields together. So once we have done this one, we're okay. So basically we got 27, the same result. So basically we just copy the whole thing back to our worksheet, and then of course copy this one. This one is exactly the same thing here. Of course remove the format, right? So basically if we want to do a further check, so this one, if we added a bracket here, so you will say our foreign supplier will going to be reduced from 11 to 9 of them. Okay, so that's basically the difference. It's very important when we are dealing with a logic operator. Okay, but to make things more interesting, let's read the question again. It says find the average price of the products supplied by this foreign supplier. So here we only give out this one number for all the product. I mean the average price for all the product supplied by the foreign supplier. So how about if we want the average price for each of the foreign supplier? Because each of the foreign supplier can supply multiple products, right? So in this case, as we see here, we got 9 foreign suppliers. How about if we calculate the average price of the products for each of the foreign supplier? So let's do it together. We first use the subquery method because we already have this subquery ready. We just need to do some modification, right? In order to show the average price for every foreign supplier, we just need to add this one here, like a supplier name here, and then group by base one. That will give us information ideally, right? Say supplier name and average price. But there is a problem. We do not have the supplier information. So that's why I told you many times. So using the subquery, we can only access to the top level the table, which is a product. Any information from the product table, we can use it. But all other information, because it's inside this subquery, we cannot access it. So even we replace supplier name with a contact name. So you can say contact name, they are accessed inside this subquery statement, but it cannot be accessed from the top level query. Okay, so still we cannot access it, but we can still have idea about this. Inside the product table, we have the what? We have the supplier's ID, right? So we can group by the supplier's ID. In this case, it will give us some type of information. Say here is not the average price for all the product from all the foreign supplier anymore. Right now, it needs the average price for each individual supplier. But because we do not have the supplier name information inside the product table, we can only list the average price by each supplier's ID. So that's basically the way we can have the similar idea to give out the average price for each supplier ID for each supplier. Okay, but here we do not have a name, so that's why we use a supplier ID to represent that one. But if we use the inner join, say we have the inner join statement here, so we just copy this statement back to this. So we have this inner join. That means we have the access to all the data fields in the product table and the supplier table, right? So in this case, we have the access to supplier name. So can simply group by supplier name as well. So you can see here we got supplier name information, we get average price as well. As you can see here, inner join can give us better access to the data fields we need. That's why most of people prefer inner join to subquery. But subquery can be very convenient if we want to build some feature on the fly. So right now you can just simply copy this statement to the query worksheet, and of course the results to the worksheet as well, and remove the format. As you can see here, the number sounds like they are simply just in different order, so that's fine. So they have the same number here. You can see 13.25. we got this one here, so right, it's just different orders. Okay, I think that's about it for our review of second SQL assignment.